everybody, it is time for the Swordsman Trials, the very first one. This time, we got a man who is the definition of aura. He has the cleanest fade in the entire world and has one hell of a smile. I present to you guys Blade. This vampire hunter has used a multitude of weapons and is now more popular than ever due to more rivals. I know he uses a gun, but his main weapons are swords, so he counts as a swordsman in my book. So let's review this vampire and let's see just how good he is of a swordsman. Let's see if his cuts are as clean as that fade. Let's first talk about the history behind this character. Eric Brooks is a half-human, half-vampire hybrid. Not because his mom or dad were vampires, but because of the fact that when his mother was actually giving birth to him, it turned out that the physician that was actually taking care of her was a vampire, who then proceeded to drain her blood as she was giving birth to Eric. And because of the fact that he did this while she was giving birth, the enzymes and the DNA of the vampire got transferred over to Eric, giving birth to the Daywalker. From then on, he was raised and trained by the vampire hunter Jamal Afari. Blade then grew to be a massive threat and live up to his nickname, the Daywalker, having all the abilities of a vampire with none of the drawbacks, except for having some thirst of blood here and there, specifically when he goes into berserker-like state. But I'll talk more about that in the next episode. Just like any Marvel character that has existed for more than a decade, he has a lot of abilities. So let's go over them real quickly, see how he uses them, and make sure to connect it to a way he fights with a sword. His abilities include Dampier Physiology, which is pretty much just that he has the same physical capabilities of a vampire. Superhuman strength, speed, durability, stamina, and agility. Overall, again, just enhanced physical prowess. Superhuman senses. He can hear and smell more things than a regular person. He pretty much is like a bloodhound, able to find his targets more accurately and hunt them down more appropriately. He has enhanced regeneration. Blade's regeneration is almost as strong as Wolverine's, except for the huge difference in that Blade can't regenerate missing limbs or missing organs. Contaminant transfer. He can transfer things in his body that may hurt him to other people, similar to how vampires transfer their blood when they bite somebody, turning them into vampires. Advanced longevity. He is immortal, but he can live longer than a regular human. And lastly, shapeshifting. After drinking the blood of Dracula, Blade can turn into a wolf, a swarm of bats, and a cloud of mist. Now, these aren't really abilities, but some of his skills which can allow us to review him as a swordsman even better. He is a master martial artist fighter with multiple martial arts like boxing, capoeira, jikendo, shokan karate, jiu-jitsu, kung fu, eskrima, hapkido, and ninjutsu. And obviously, he's also an expert marksman and an expert swordsman. Also, as a little bonus, he is also multilingual, which is pretty cool. Now, the amount of energy Blade needs to do all of this is absolutely insane. But us as regular people also use a lot of energy. But guess what? I can help with that. This video is sponsored by Advance. Look, there's a lot of unhealthy energy drinks out there like Monster, Red Bull, and other ones. But what makes Advance special is all of their drinks are actually just supplements. No artificial flavoring, no sweetener. Also, they don't make drinks to help with energy, but they also have some that help with other things. Sorry, I said that weird. They have energy drinks and they also have other drinks. They have drinks that help with focus, hydration, and even sleep. You choose what you need and they got it. This is also the best time to snack something with their holiday sale going on. And hey, if you like anime, then try checking out their Gachi Akuta collab stuff. If you want to try and live a healthier life, check out Advance using the link in the description. And if you do decide to pick something up, make sure to use code OSHRA to get 10% off and show some support to the channel. Now, let's get back to the video, and the link to that will be in the description below. Obviously, vampire hunting is nowhere near easy, and to kill as many vamps as he does, he would obviously need a hell of a ton of weapons. So let's look at them real quickly. Daywalker sword, stakes, Nunchaku, Adamantium Wadachi, Atlantean sword, Word sword, Lucifer sword, bladed boomerang, Kevlar body armor, the breathing gun, and the Hellfire shotgun. That's just ridiculous. Some of these guys are just genuinely ridiculous in power, like the breathing gun, which quite literally is a living gun, including with its bullets. And I'm pretty sure they can actually shoot your soul. So that's nice. And then from there, we can't forget about the Hellfire shotgun, which can burn a person's soul. Yeah, I don't know how these guys actually make it out alive against this guy. So what has a guy who has existed for nearly 52 years achieved? Well, let's see his greatest feats. He's been battling vampires for 90 years now. He's able to tear through people's bodies with his bare hands, can block bullets with Nunchaku. He has survived Hulk throwing him into the sky, and has also defeated Dracula, Deacon Frost, and other legendary demons and vampires in the Marvel Universe. Some other feats that he has that allows us to see more specifically his strength are he can cut through Spider-Man's webs, can pierce the skin of the Hulk, he can easily dodge bullets, and keep up with the speed of Spider-Man. He can put his hand into molten steel without being harmed, and yeah, I think we covered a great amount. But yeah, no, it's obvious to see just how strong this guy is. But strength doesn't matter if you can't use the sword properly. So let's go over his. Blade has proven that he is no beginner when it comes to his sword skill. Every time a newbie or an intermediate swordsman goes up against him, they get demolished. The most recent example of this was when he fought Miles Morales, and Miles made a lightning sword. And sure, Miles held himself for a bit because some of the training he got was from this chick. Was also a pretty good swordsman from what I've heard. Still gets annihilated by Blade though. Even with all of Miles' extra abilities, Blade stays on top. This man fought Wolverine and it ended up with a draw, but just the fact that he was even able to actually stand against Wolverine, who is centuries old at this point, is insane. And just if you guys don't know, Wolverine has also been a swordsman. He's such a great swordsman, in fact, that he can deflect Cyclops' optic blasts, which are as fast as light. Because of how many swords he has, we know that he's proficient in many sword martial arts. When we see this with his Daywalker sword being more of a broadsword, his adamantium Modachi, and Dracula's sword being a longsword. With this, we can make the assumption that he's trained in Hema, Kenjutsu, and Iaido. He has been able to defeat multiple hordes of vampires and has also fought vampires who are also skilled sword masters and beating them with having much less experience. So yeah, no. In conclusion, Blade is goaded. After seeing everything that Blade can do, it is time to give my final thoughts and judgment. And this guy is without a doubt a real swordsman. Blade, as a genuine swordsman, is amazing. He doesn't rely heavily on his power and mainly relies on his skills in unarmed combat. And how he has trained in the ways of sword, we see this in all the fights mentioned, that he can beat people with centuries of experience in swords with his skills. He is proficient in a vast variety of swords, each one needing a different form of use. Because newsflash, every sword is different. It's more than just sharp and cut. But no, Blade genuinely surprised me. He's the first character that uses a sword that I've had to do extensive research on that isn't just random bullshit go or cool anime techniques. And uses genuine techniques to understand his weapons and overall know what he is doing in the most realistic sense possible. So now I can score. So for experience, I give this guy honestly a 10 out of 10. This guy is semi-mortal and has been hunting vampires since he was 12. How can I not give him a perfect score on experience? He was literally born to do what he does. For his stance, I give him a 5 out of 10. From what I have seen, he is a great swordsman, but I just couldn't find enough info on his stances that I can't make a true assumption. Since most of the time I see him do a stance, it's just to look cool, not to prepare, but the times I have seen him do a stance, it would work in a realistic scenario, technically. For offense, I give this guy a 10 out of 10. If this guy could kill hundreds vampires at once, I don't care what anybody says. That offense must be crazy. Not to mention, he can be intangible demons and has been able to hurt Hulk and Wolverine and beat Spider-Man. Yeah, no, this guy's offensively is just a demon. Defensively, I give him about 8 out of 10. He doesn't get beat up too badly, hardly ever, but he still has taken hits that without regeneration, he'd be dead. Like being impaled by Wolverine, being launched into the sky by Hulk, and being hit by Cosmic Ghost Rider. So overall, great defense, being able to deflect bullets, dodge attacks, and cut down a lot of his opponents, but not perfect. For the bind, I give him a 7 out of 10. Once again, I just couldn't find enough info on him to actually judge it amazingly. But the few times I did see a clash with Wolverine and Miles Morales, he quickly took the upper hand, and from those few examples, I can make a good assumption that his binding and clashing skills are honestly pretty good, but not enough info for me to be truly fair. Overall, it's safe to say he's an 8 out of 10 swordsman, which, with our ranking system, which I have to think a lot of animes for inspiring it, I have to put this guy as an A tier swordsman. Not an H tier. For those of you guys wondering what the H tier is, it's posture level. God thank Demon Slayer for that one. But no, I will have to rate him as an A plus swordsman. Almost there, just not quite. Alright, everybody, thank you so much for watching. I truly do hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below who else you would like me to review as a swordsman. And should I make these type of videos but for fictional characters and how good of a fighter they are, let me know in the comments down below. By the way, we are so close to 1,000 subscribers, so make sure to show some love and subscribe. But other than that, have a great day and thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next